Welcome to the Waffle Flower Channel. This is It's in the Details. I'm Nicole, and today I'm sharing a card featuring the brand new Hello Stampurr stamp set and coordinating dies, and creating a simple stenciled and distress inked background to make all of these cute little images into a scene. It's super simple, really quick, and one of my favorite ways to make a scene out of adorable images like these Hello Stampurr cat and chair and the books and everything. I am going to ink up all of these images and stamp them on some Bristol Smooth cardstock. If you aren't a big fan of maybe Copic coloring and you are looking for maybe a little bit more affordable way to color in your images, the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers are fantastic. Not only can you use them for watercolor type techniques, but they blend beautifully, especially on this Bristol Smooth cardstock. I would say that this is the only cardstock I use with the zigs, whether I'm watercoloring or coloring and shading like I'm doing here. I'm doing a little coloring where I lay down the dark color I want to use first, and because these are water-based markers, it's going to give you a little bit more of that watercolor look, but without the addition of water. It's going to be a little bit more of a smooth look without that watercolory type of blotches, maybe. I don't know exactly how I want to say it, but it's going to be a little bit smoother. And they blend beautifully without the water. That's what I love about these markers. They're just super versatile. I like to lay down that dark color first, and then I'll go in with a lighter color and blend it out. You might want to make sure that you have a scrap paper next to you. I'm using my grid paper there in the background, and I'll clean off the tip of my lighter color of marker while I'm coloring, just to kind of get some of that color off. And it's going to give you a nice gradient of color without a ton of markers. So this whole chair was colored with 4 markers, 2 browns, 2 reds or pinks. Very easy and so beautiful. Once I have the chair colored, I'm going to move on to some of the other fun little images. This is so cute and creates some amazing scenes. These blue markers are some of my favorites. So I laid down my dark color first, and I'm going to blend it out with the lighter color. And you can see how beautiful that blend is there. I keep cleaning off the tip of that lighter marker so I don't get cross-contamination, and so that I can get some of those lighter areas in the coffee mug. I'll go ahead and do the little wind-up mouse with a couple shades of gray. You can always go back in. I'm going to go back in with my darker color. If you're worried at all about the paper pilling, you can always hit it with a heat tool first before going back over it. I'm going to color in the books with some bright shades. I've got aqua on the one book. I'm going to go in with a little pink for the heart on the coffee mug for contrast. Add that to the twist top on the mouse and add a little pink to the cheek as well. For the cat, I'm going to add a shade, or a dark gray rather, to those areas where it's naturally going to be a little shady or a little darker. And then I'll blend it out with my lighter gray color. I'm going to make sure and keep cleaning the tip of this marker off a lot so that I don't pull too much of that dark color out into the middle of the gray image, or the cat image rather. Add a couple of shades of pink to the cute little cheeks there on the kitty. And then take those same red colors that I used for the chair and color the bow that's wrapped around its neck. And make sure and clean the tip of this marker off as well so that the edges of the bow are much lighter than the rest of it. I even went back over it again to get that color just right. I'm trying to figure out a couple colors to use for the rest of the books. Originally, I kind of thought I'd do blue, and then I thought that was going to be too much blue with the blue coffee mug. So I chose this purple, and I'll go in with pink and I like this a lot better. It's still a nice, bright, colorful book, and it adds just another color to the design. I will take a little bit, those two blue colors, and do the label on the spine of this book, but then the rest of it I'm going to color with yellow and orange to keep that nice and colorful. The pages of that last open book were colored with some shades of brown and gray. I'm going to die cut all of the images with the coordinating Hello Stampurr. And then I'm going to take a patched layers die, and I'm going to take this white sheet of Bristol Smooth cardstock that's 5.5 by 4.25 inches, tape my die right to the center of that, and die cut it. And it's going to leave me with this awesome stitched border all the way around. Now the background is completely one layer. I've taken a little Post-it tape and masked off the bottom. This is where the ground or the flooring is going to be in the room that I'm creating for all of these images. I'm going to take a brick stencil. This is the bricked stencil from Tim Holtz, and a little pumice stone distress ink, and lightly tap that through the stencil for the wall of the scene. I want all of my stenciling and inking to be within that die cut stitching border, if that makes sense. So I'm going to carefully line up my stencil again. I'm sorry, I got my head in the way there so that I could make sure I lined up the brick design, and stencil the other side of the room. And I just a light tapping motion with that is going to leave me with this awesome brick looking wall. Then I'm going to remove my Post-it tape, tape that over the edge there along the bottom, and go in with my pumice stone distress ink and just ink up the floor, trying to keep it within the lines of that die cut stitching from the patched layers die. Once I have my ink coloring that bottom area, I can remove that Post-it tape, and that's going to leave me with a wall and a floor then. So everything is one layer. This is going to be the perfect backdrop to really showcase all these amazing Hello Stampurr images. Now I need to figure out exactly where everything is going to go so that I can find the perfect place for the greeting, as well as make sure that I leave enough room everywhere for all of the images I want to use. There's also a great image of the steam, so it looks like the cup of coffee or tea is nice and warm. Once I have everything laid out, I'm going to take that steam image and stamp that with black ink coming up from the coffee cup. And then I'm going to take the Misty to stamp my greeting. And this is so that I can make sure I get it stamped perfectly. I would hate to have done all that work to create the background only to get an imperfect stamped greeting and have to redo it. So to make sure that I can stamp this one on top of another, I'm just going to use the Misty and hold everything down with my magnets. And that first image is a little light, so I did ink it up again and stamp it twice so that it's nice and bold and easy to read. Once I have the greeting, I can start putting it all together. I'm going to use a combination of a glue runner and glue dots to attach all of these images to this, or to build the scene, starting with the chair and the cat. That's kind of the focal point. Then I've got my stack of books and the coffee mug here that will be to the right of the chair. I want to make sure it looks like the coffee cup's sitting on that stack of books, and that I've left enough room there for the steam to be coming up out of the coffee mug. Go ahead and place the cat sitting in the chair, kind of regal. The open book is going to go to the left of the chair, kind of tucked back behind one of the chair legs, sitting upside down. I love that. And then I'll finish with the wind-up mouse toy. Now, the card could really be done as is right now. I like to take a black glaze pen and go over things like noses and eyes to really make them pop. I'm even going to go over some of the dark areas on the image, like the nail head trim on the chair, the heart on the spine of the book. I'll take a white opaque pen and add some highlight detail to the spines of the book, to the coffee cup. Add some little dots to the cheeks of the cat and the mouse. Add some highlights to the bow around the cat's neck. All of those little areas. It's just little tiny touches that are really going to make all of these fun images stand out. Once I have that, I'm going to take some glossy accents and put a little bit of glossy accents over the heart. I guess I did go back with my black glaze pen and add detail to the spines of the book, the coffee and the coffee cup. All of those dark black areas on some of these images really pop with the addition of this black glaze pen and are just so much more prominent and really stand out and show up. Here's that glossy accents for the heart on the coffee cup. I will also take that and place it on the bow around the cat's neck. I did flip my panel around and do it upside down. This is to keep my hand out of any of the inking that I've already done. Some of that black glaze pen is still wet, and I am just notorious for putting my hand in it and ruining so many designs and having to redo them. I will finish this with a scattering of sparkling clear sequins in the 4mm and 6mm size, and then place this whole panel on a side fold card base to finish the card. For more product information, please visit waffleflower.com. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.